Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. What's going on with the music?
It feels a bit weird, doesn't it?
What's
The old
that
music.
there?
What's
Bit of
that,
Euro
pal?
music?
What's this? It's a bit different. It's not
Bit
a
of
sports
Euro.
bar.
It's
Keep it simple, lads, will you? Trying to change it up.
Bit of Euro music. Hello, matey. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm good. I've just done a live watch along on YouTube. You've just done one with Adiola Depot.
Yes, I did.
Which was downstairs, so I haven't actually seen you. This is the first time. Normally we come on and we pretend that we've not seen each other and we've been sat with each other for 2 hours, but I've genuinely not seen you.
Not seen you at all.
So what did you make of that performance, first and foremost?
First half, I thought it was okay, stroke decent, without being brilliant. I liked the movement up front. I thought Bellingham and Foden started all right together. Saka out on that right-hand side. More often than right, we're a bit lopsided. No threat down the left at all. No threat.
Awful.
And it was no surprise that our goal come from the right. Brilliant ball. And the way they were set up with a 5 at the back, I thought it'd be almost impossible to get Saka involved in the game. But the pass from Walker, the run from Saka, had to be spot on. A little bit fortuitous, the way that it ricochets off the underneath.
We're going to have to go to Faye Carruthers because she's with England manager Gareth Southgate.
Gareth, congratulations. 3 points in the opening game. What did you make of the result and the performance?
Well, very pleased with both. I think in the first half we used the ball really, really well. Had complete control of the game. Could have had a second, I think, really, and that probably determined a bit of the flow of the game later on. The second half, we didn't keep the ball as well. I think we expended a lot of energy in that first half, and we started to end up a little bit deep, albeit, not under huge pressure, because I thought we closed the spaces really well. But when you get deep, it does invite balls in your box, and we had to defend those very well, which we did. Could have had a second with the header towards the end. And then, there were some moments where we did manage to run the clock down well by keeping the ball and buying fouls. And I'm pleased actually that we had to show both sides of the game, because as we move forward, we're going to need to do that. And to come through a tense game at the end, I think is good for a lot of the players.
Yeah, you were under a lot of pressure towards the end. Let's talk about the goal first of all. Bukayo Saka, there was so much good happening on the right-hand side of the pitch in that first half in particular. But talk me through the goal from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually watched it back in detail yet, but I thought it was a lot, as you said, Bukayo was causing a lot of problems. Lovely pass through to him, good spin run. And then, due to the timing of that run is what he's been doing so well. So, and it was a brave header, really, to go thundering in the way he did. So, really pleased with the quality of the goal.
I've just spoken to Harry Kane, and he said he had to play a slightly different role tonight to allow the other players to have a bit of space. Jude included, Phil as well. How do you operate those front four in particular, and what was your thinking going into tonight's game? Well,
that they had as much freedom as we can give them. It meant that actually Trent and Declan had to balance off a lot, and they did a really good job of breaking up the attacks and mopping up the second balls, because you end up with a lot of those against Serbia. But I thought Phil and Bukayo also on the wings put in a hell of an amount of work to get the angles of pressing right, to recover. They did a fantastic job without the ball for the team, as well as using the ball really well. That's really interesting, actually, because in commentary there was a lot made of the fact that actually we weren't getting a lot of width on the left-hand side in particular, and we weren't maybe seeing the best of Phil Foden that we know we see from him in the Manchester City shirt in an England shirt. But do you see it differently to that? Well, clearly we're using Kieran to give us the width to allow Phil to drift, and I thought he retained the ball in a spell, especially in the second half where we were struggling a bit to retain the ball. I thought he retained it really, really well. It's not easy for everybody to be the star turn when there are so many good attacking players on the pitch, and I was very happy with the job Phil did for the team. How is Kieran, by the way? Because there were quite a few concerns stretching his hamstring out. Is he okay? Yeah, just a bit of cramp, really. So, that's his first 90 minutes in months, and to play the way he did just shows what an incredible character he is for us.
I just want to talk about the control of the game in the second half, because you mentioned it yourself. Harry Kane mentioned it when I spoke to him as well. It felt like you lost that a little bit. How much of a concern is that, and what do you need to do better in the second game against Denmark?
I think we need to conserve energy better in the first half. You know, we made an incredible number of runs and played with great emotion, but I think we took a lot out of ourselves in that first half. And physically, we have had players miss a lot of football, not have 90 minutes for a while. So that's something we've got to consider when we're making the changes that we had to make, and making sure that the squad is in a good place. But they'll be better for the game. I think there's always huge emotion with a game. First game of a tournament, but also a game like today where the opponent are aggressive as well. But they've dealt with it really, really well.
A couple of quick last questions for you. One is on the substitutions, and what was your thinking in making them?
Well, we needed fresh legs, really. I think we'd started to end up a little bit deep. Connor can get up to the ball quickly, gave us the legs in midfield that we needed. Bukayo obviously has missed quite a bit of training, so we were always going to choose a moment to bring Jared on, and I thought he had a really good impact. I mean, super cross for the header at the far post, but also got back, worked, stopped crosses coming into our box as well. And then again, Jude was cramping up. We probably could have done that earlier, but he's having such a huge impact on the game that you're conscious of not taking him out of that at that moment too early. But great for Cobby to get that experience of playing an important role, not for a long period, but a critical part of the game.
Just finally, the earlier game in the group finished 1-1, which is great from an England perspective. You're now top of the group, puts you in a really good position going forward, which you must take confidence from.
Yeah, but we have to start again. Tonight's a good night for us. The next objective is to qualify from the group, and we know Denmark. We know so many of their players that we know the tough games we've had against them in the past, and we'll have to be spot on to be able to beat them.
Congratulations again tonight, Gareth. Thank you.
Thanks, Faye. Thank you.
Faye Crothers there with England manager Gareth Southgate. Let's get straight to your calls. Let's go to Kevin, who's a Newcastle fan. Hi, Kev.
All right, Kev.
All right, Jamie. You all right, Cundy? How you doing?
I'm good, mate. Look, you've just heard Gareth Southgate there talking about his England side. What did you make of it?
Well, I mean, let's get the positives out the way first of all. I think the first 30, 35 minutes was pretty good. Saka, I think, was really, really good on the right-hand side, and Jude Bellingham, obviously man of the match. But once it started getting towards the 60-minute mark, I've got to question a few of the substitutions, if I'm being honest. I think it's been well seen that the left-hand side was a problem, and I'm a Newcastle United fan. I know that Kieran Trippier is very good at right-back, but on the left, when he is further forward, he does have to cut inside, or he needs to pass on to somebody.
All the time.
And I'm not quite sure where Phil Foden was told to play tonight, but you mentioned that he was wasted on the left-hand side. I didn't see him there very much at all. And for me, it was quite obvious that we needed somebody on the left-hand side. And in Anthony Gordon, I think that was the perfect substitution, because in the second half, Saka was getting a bit tired, and they were putting extra men on him. And then when the ball bowling on, it was just much the same. They just kept them same men on bowling. And when was the thought process from Southgate to say, actually, we need an outlet on the left? And it never ever came. And I was a bit worried by that.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you, mate. I can't believe Anthony Gordon didn't feature, even Eze, just to make something happen. But if you're talking about directness, which I think we lacked on the left all night, you're absolutely right. Trippier, for me, was just coming inside. And, Southgate's talking about Kieran Trippier giving us width. I mean, he's a right-footed playing left-back. He's not going to give you width to get the balls in the box and get to the byline, is he? You needed someone who's going to make something happen in Anthony Gordon. I couldn't believe Phil Foden, bless him. I felt for him because he's such a great player, but he shouldn't have been on the pitch in the second half.
O'Hara, I said to my friend earlier on, Foden could do things that are Gascoigne-esque when he's played in the right position.
Yeah.
I'm just unsure what Southgate said to him and said, right, this is your position, this is where you need to play. And whatever that was, it was clear after about 40, 45 minutes, that wasn't working. and we're main distribution area where we needed to. Trippier was recycling the ball back inside, and it was slowing down a bit. I was saying, come on, let's get Gordon on. He's got a bit of pace. He's done it all season for Newcastle United, and it never once came into my thought process. And I don't want to be a negative Norman. We've won. It's a first group game. You can only beat what's in front of you. But against a better team, I think we need to start thinking a little bit more outside of the box when it comes to substitutions instead of doing like for like.
Yeah, absolutely. Kev, great call. Let's go to Michael. He's a Man United fan. All right, mate?
Mikey?
Hi, mate. Oh, I know you, Brad. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm good. How are you feeling after watching that?
Well, first I thought we played really, really well. And then Southgate does what he usually... 30 minutes. And then obviously I thought Trent gave the ball and, God, you're a lucky boy. Lucky boy in first half, Brennan played brilliantly and that. But, again, Southgate does what he does best. He's not proactive in his substitution. Where was Cole Palmer tonight? He should be on the pitch. SA should have been on the pitch. You could see in the first 40 minutes after the second half, they were at it. And I tell you what, we were lucky tonight.
Yeah.
Anyone else would get battered. And let's be honest, England are meant to win the Euros, are favourites to win Euros. I don't think we are.
No.
I can't see how we can. And the back four, at times, they were dodgy.
I thought Gahey was brilliant. I have to say.
He was brilliant. There was a couple of balls that went in the box. Obviously when Pickford came out for a ball, God, you were a lucky boy.
I don't think the word lucky. I wouldn't say lucky.
Trent was lucky.
I wouldn't say...
lost the ball in good tight areas.
I wouldn't say that we were lucky, though. I felt that the best side won. I have to say, though, second half performance wasn't great. The left-hand side, this is not breaking news. This left-hand side is a problem, and it will continue to be a problem until, Shaw gets there, because he said that Trippier's our width. He's not, because the same happened with Eze against Iceland. He comes inside and he's like a number 10, and that's all well and good when you've got movement. There was the odd time that we saw Bellingham come out to that left-hand side. There's no natural width, and we become lopsided. The only way we're ever going to get through the left-hand side is redundant. There is no threat.
So bad.
There's no threat. And I think, I agree with the previous caller, I feel for Foden because it's not his natural game. He played in the FA Cup final on the left-hand side, and he kept coming inside, and all he had was running into Kobe and Amrabat.
Yeah, I know.
And he kept running into those two.
Yeah.
And they blocked off really well. We need width. We need natural width. The only person I can see, and I think we might be looking at a situation, incredibly, that Phil Foden starts on the bench.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
I think we might be looking at Gordon staying there, staying high, staying wide. Foden naturally wants to come inside, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you've got playing against a 5 and a 3 or a 5 and a 4, there is no space to run into. You are literally running into bodies.
Yeah.
Running into bodies.
Yeah,
and that was the problem he found.
Mike, thanks for your call. Keep them coming in. Got loads to get through tonight. I want to talk about that Gareth Southgate interview as well. Talking about taking more time in the first half and not. The whole point is to go after teams early on, surely, right? And go and get 2 or 3 goals up against a bang average Serbia side, and then use subs in the second half. What is he talking about? Unbelievable.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.